Doug?
Doug?
Yep.
Sure, this type of stuff.
Gotta be warm.
That's getting hot.
Two things, just kind of bring you guys up to date. I've done 2 of these town hall meetings so far. Did Hudson last night, did Maxville a week ago last night. And I don't know exactly who the sirens in the county belong to. I know years ago,
That's been an issue.
okay, years ago, I know, the county fire department used to take care of getting them fixed, but I know in the last 15 years, the city of Stafford's taken care of all of ours over there. We've replaced them and everything else. And I know that was questions I was getting out of Maxville, and I don't know what to tell them, because Jim said it's been an ongoing conversation.
Well, it has been an ongoing conversation, and I thought I had that taken care of because they brought it to me,
Okay.
what, a year ago, was it? And I had noticed around St. John they had new sirens put up.
Yeah, St. John's did their own also.
Yeah,
So.
and they got a grant to do that.
Mhm.
So that's what I told Troy Wright, and I told Sheriff Parr about that.
Okay.
And I think I told Rob too, that's how St. John handled it. I didn't,
Okay, well, if that's the way it's going to be, I'll try to help them figure out something over there.
yeah,
But
because I
just
know
didn't
there is some problems over there, especially in the southwest
Yeah,
side.
they
of
said they
town.
can't hear the siren
Yeah.
because it's the north end of town. So.
Yeah,
Okay, I just kind of wanted to touch base on that because I asked Anita and she didn't know.
yeah,
Who was supposed to pay for that stuff. But I know Stafford had taken theirs over and I knew St. John had done theirs.
yeah.
And the other thing I need probably about a 10-minute executive session if that's possible.
For non-elected
Yes.
personnel.
Include,
I haven't, everybody table.
you got one lurking behind
Rob can come on in too. Sorry, didn't see you back there, Rob.
you.
Yeah, you're stuck. You can close the door and you're
I'll make a motion, we go in executive session for non-elected personnel for 10 minutes.
Second that. So moved and seconded, we go in executive session for 10 minutes for non-elected personnel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're back in.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of Wednesday, March 19th, 2014.
Second that. It's been moved and seconded and approved the minutes of the March 19th meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. The bonding on the
Duplex.
duplex project.
Had discussions about that this week.
Carolyn and Troy Willinger came in yesterday, and they were questioning whether it was absolutely necessary, for him to be bonded. And so I called Amber, the auditor, and we looked up the statute, and after she read it and we talked about it, since the county is just a conduit for grant money, she doesn't feel like bonding is necessary. She said a letter of credit would be fine. So,
But it's not part of the grant either. That's what I
no,
asked
that's
Troy
what Carolyn
yesterday.
said. I asked her again,
Okay.
and she said, no, in the grant specs, or whatever you call it, no mention is made of bonding. That would just be for us. And Amber says typically in grants they don't.
Okay.
But the statute reads anything over $100,000, but they're talking about using public money.
Right.
So she said a letter of credit would suffice.
Well, the only public money that's being used is from the economic development, right?
But that's not
Or
county
they're
tax
separate,
dollars.
right.
They're a separate entity.
Right. Yeah.
So no tax dollars are going to be used for any of this. We're just the flow through for the money to go to economic development. She will pay all the bills, but the grant is in our name.
Right. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, and here's the rationale that after I talked with Troy yesterday was, I mean, the next bid's 200,000 more.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
And like Amber said, the only portion the county will be handling of this is $168,000. So more will fall on economic development if this thing falls through than.
Well, and it's not like the county gets a lump sum of 168.
Exactly, it's
It's a
billed
funnel through.
And like Troy said, he usually does letter of credit with, I guess he's worked with some cities and stuff, and he's never been asked to bond, so Amber said it's fine if we just do letter of credit.
Okay.
Is that
It'd be
good with
fine.
you two? Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Was the question I had, we had nothing to do with the construction or anything, and accepting the bids. And it's all-
Right. That's why I explained to
Up to the
Amber, I
board.
said the property is in economic development's
Right.
name, it's not in the county's name. The county really isn't linked to any of it except for.
Come on in, that's what we're talking about.
We're talking about you.
Except for the,
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I'm gonna be available, so.
except for the grant.
Right.
So we're fine with the letter of credit, and you only have about
10 minutes.
12 minutes.
Oh,
We got
okay,
hearing at 9.
okay. Well, so I don't know what you've already covered.
Well, we just
They're good with it.
agreed with the line of credit,
As opposed to a bond.
or letter of credit, not line of credit.
Okay.
letter of credit.
Yeah, so I've talked with the bank about how they would do this, because, you know, their issue is what triggers the call. And what, he's gonna talk with the contractor too, but I think what he's looking at is he'd have to set up the operating line behind it with that, you know, customer. And essentially he'd pay with the operating line, the subcontractors, the material contractors, that way we can get the release on, get the lien waiver in place before the county and we actually pay the bill. So having the bank there to kind of help navigate that lien waiver, I think, is an important thing. What our risk then is that, if I read through the statute too, but they're really, I've always, in the beginning, I was perceiving this bond to protect us and the risk of non-performance. It's really not that as much. It's the idea of
Liens being attached.
liens be attached. So, performance-wise, we're kind of on our own anyway,
Right.
so, and I've also come to realize that bonds are not really, they're not looking at the performance history of the company and the reliability of the company and kind of assuring that. They're looking at a balance sheet. So basically, to get the bonds, the company really kind of has to have almost a CD, I mean, the cash in hand to get it. So anyway, if we can adequately protect everyone's, you know, everyone's public money by doing this, I think that's the real objective. And actually, even the state law says you can have a certificate of deposit payable to the state in lieu of bonds. So and it's for do any sum of labor, furnished materials, equipment, or supplies used or consumed in connection with or such contract for construction. So it's the idea of the bills that the contractor is obligated to pay. So.
So we're good to go.
Okay, good. Nope.
Onward and upward.
How did your vote go?
Passed the Senate, and it's now in the House. When I was in Topeka, I had kind of played the go along to get along kind of thing when they said, let's wait and draft it later than some of the other bills that had a rigid deadline that they had to meet by the Senate schedule. And then, as I get there, I realized House Transportation Committee won't be meeting after last week in a way that could hear it on the House side. So we're into some funny stuff, but I think we're gonna be able to, we're gonna put it on the House, since it's a resolution. I've talked with the Speaker's office, and they're gonna be able to put it on the floor directly without running it through committee. Since it didn't have any kind of controversy or opposition in the Senate, they're willing to do that, I think. I'll get confirmation on that today, but it passed just yesterday, the full Senate. So, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Philip, bear of bad news or good news, however you want to take it.
What's that?
You will be doing all the public speaking today. And here's your list
Here's my
that you
list.
need to protocol.
First and only
I'm
time
delegating
I've ever
authority.
seen that. Oh, Thank you. Good morning.
I can't.
I take it you are the vice commissioner? and the
Yes.
Vice chairman?
Yes.
But he has to do the welcome.
No, that's a passed off.
Give everybody a hug.
Yeah. I'll shake everybody's hands, I like it. You can do all the public speaking.
All the public speaking. Oh, I think John Riggins is gonna talk to him a little bit about whether they,
What were some of the topics that we needed? We got 5 lines.
And I gotta talk to him. We've been playing telephone.
well, he'll be here today.
Oh, yes, the one on the road.
Yeah.
Stafford.
He'll be here today. So,
And, what else were you gonna discuss with some of them?
well, John was gonna talk to him about maybe whether they wanted to try to apply for the sign, that highway school road sign deals up here. And then I give him some information about some of the sign stuff that they need to do, because they're no different than we are. And
Right.
they're liable to get hung out to dry long before we are. So it's probably in their best interest to really think about doing this. Sometimes I have those little 4x4s, I think if you guys don't mind, and we talk, it doesn't have to be done today. It's just food for thought. I mean, we'll take down from all the signs. I think I'd just like to put it out for bids and get rid of them. We've had all the good ones up and shedded them, but I'll never do this all.
Yeah. You replaced all this?
All the 4
Really?
wheels got replaced.
I'll say the other ones I tried by, they look new.
Yeah.
Huh.
And we'll go back and plant them some more.
Yeah.
That's the only bad thing about putting them in the winter.
I see some of your street signs have got totally broke off, the posts have been broke off. That's unreal.
It's some of them, but, yeah, I had one guy tell me, because we've started in the southeast corner right
Uh-huh.
now. We did get signs ordered for the east half, and so we're progressing on that. He says, I don't want them in my township. I said, I don't believe this was ask if you wanted them. This was, I told this is what was gonna happen, and this is what's happening. I said, if you don't like it, there's 3 men upstairs, you can go visit.
I've had some compliments on them. I mean, I like them.
Yeah.
They are. I would agree, you know, some
Yeah,
of
and
the
that's
places
just-
we've had, we're gonna have to relocate some of them,
Yeah.
but, I mean,
And some of the object markers, when we first put them on the deal, I mean, everybody thought they were gonna be that high, and we went back and lowered them, and
I would say,
I haven't got around to talk to a couple guys and see what they thought about them.
I think that most of the equipment can pass over the top of them.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of them will get whacked.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the signs even put it off in the ditch for getting run over.
Anyway, it's playing bulldozer.
Somebody's down there south of town was doing it intentionally, it looked like. They had a nice shop. They were
Yeah, we
putting it
go
off at the ground.
We go through spells like that. It was on the way to Kent's, maybe it was Ken, I don't know.
I'm on
I'm close
vacation.
a time or two with my disc and packers.
And that's the only good thing, was that about the way all the new signs are. I mean,
Yeah.
they're well off of the road, so.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be easier for the farmers to get around.
I told Phil the best way to do that is just bury some railroad irons in concrete.
Yeah.
Put the signs on them and up your liabilities as far as you can get it, and let them hit them.
Yeah, well, they've done that in a place or two, and it cost the county some money, unfortunately. Some guys didn't tell the boss, and they took 4x4 and drove 60 or 90 penny nails through
Oh,
there.
my.
Not 4x4, 3x12, and then put this in because they kept having this problem with this one sign. Well, the kid ended up with 4 flat tires and.
At least they figured out who it was, huh?
I'd like to put a grader blade about pan high. I mean, that would,
Solved it pretty quick too.
but that takes care of the crash worthiness of the post too.
Yeah.
So. What you like to do and what you do is 2 different things.
Yeah.
As Joe well knows with his job. Good news is B&B's finally done with our trucks and we're gonna go get our trailers.
Oh, yeah? Good.
I need to stop with that chair.
Yeah.
I did.
I
Come
did,
in.
come on in.
Another 30 minutes, or we going now?
30
Well,
minutes.
we got the Ohio one
We got one
first, but you
before
can sit in
yours.
here if you
I'll come
want.
back.
Okay.
You don't have anything on the north side of the tracks, though, do you? You
Yeah.
have some on the north side of the
Yeah,
railroad
there's
tracks?
there's 60 acres over there.
Right south of
20
Larry's.
acres of farm ground and then 40 acres of pasture.
Right south of Larry's driveway,
Yeah,
actually.
you know, the driveway coming up to Larry's house, everything's south.
Yeah, I
of
guess
there,
that
so
would be the actual.
clear to the creek, actually just a whole 50
Yeah,
yards
keep
past the
forgetting-
creek.
Keep forgetting that jogs down.
Yeah, the railroad just, and that
So,
road just cuts that quarter, just cuts it too.
Hearing deal.
So,
You just recessed.
including the railroad right away, well,
Public hearing
it's just
for
half,
Ohio
you just
Township
cuts it right through that
road
quarter,
vacation.
the railroad and the highway right, the old highway right away. Of course, that grade really gets wide down in there because it's a double grade instead of a single railroad grade. So, yeah, it eats up 30 acres.
Carol, I
of
guess
that.
we'll recess. For the Ohio Township road vacating. That's the only thing I see on that drawing is the only, it goes clear to the blacktop basically, right?
No, it's a half mile line.
Yeah, it should be.
But
from
read,
half
Half
mile.
mile
read
line.
read how it's
Over
worded
the
in
hill,
the,
probably quarter of a mile.
on the, that right
A road running west and then southwest to the northern half of section 7, township 24 south and range 13 west of the 6 p.m. in Ohio Township in Stafford County, Kansas, with the east terminus of the road being the intersection of the northwest of 20th Avenue and then northwest 20th Street, and the western terminus of such road ending somewhere in the south half of the northwest quarter of section 7, township 24 south, range 17 west. So that would be at the 20th and 20th intersection.
Which would be at the, I call it the Andy Carl Shelterville.
Yes.
From there.
The blacktop, yeah.
Yeah, it's, yeah, no, that's.
What I was under the impression of it was from this road here.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be, yeah.
This road at that intersection, not this one and this one.
Yeah, actually, this is 25th.
Yeah.
Called Northwest 25th Avenue.
So we'll be on the half mile line right in the middle of the section running north and south.
But that's not what this,
What we got a screw up here. Okay, in the northern half of section 7, we've got 7.
Yeah, because that would exclude Turner. Yeah, that would exclude Turner there.
yeah, that's Turner's clear to Larry's drive, basically Larry's driveway.
Mhm.
Okay, there's 20 and 20, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
There's a road, Joe, that goes on a half mile
There's a-
line that goes
yeah.
south there.
It
on the-
splits 7.
To the west, right down the center of section 7. There's a full maintained road.
This one here?
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. And it's 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about vacating what? Just to the,
The west
The
of
west
that.
of 25th Avenue.
Yeah.
okay.
Which that does split that section right in half, right?
You can do all or part.
Okay.
Because that's the one I've actually driven down and just kind of, just ends,
Yeah.
kind of goes through what I call a boneyard.
Yeah. Kim's Farm.
Looks like there was a, well, but a lot of farmers have boneyards.
That was the remnants of the first tornado that came through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks like one time there was a cattle feeding set up there. It looked like there was some
Yeah,
big
one
concrete
Yeah, that's clear
bunkers.
on over the hill.
Yeah.
Did that road actually go clear through your farm there,
Yeah,
Ken?
yeah, that's the old 50 highway.
Hell, we were kids,
So you came,
Goes right through
made the
there.
curve there at Dillon,
we used to,
And then
we
off
actually
towards
used to
Silver
drive
Cup
across
is
the
south.
condemned bridge.
and then
Yeah.
come right on down the big long bridge and
Oh,
across
this,
there.
over past the sand
But
pit?
yeah, that was the old
Or
50
near the
highway.
sand pit?
South mile.
If you go out here to Shane's Shop and just go to the stop sign right south of Shane's Shop and
Yeah.
go straight west,
That's
you'll run into it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so we're talking, like I say, about doing this little tail end thing.
Yeah,
In,
from 25th, I don't know how it's agreed, 20,
It should be
Well,
the
we can
eastern
do Kent, I
terminus
mean,
of
just put some,
25th
we
Street.
put some 4x4s and then put some.
from
barricade
25th
type
Street or
panels
Avenue.
up there and
Oh,
say
Avenue,
we're
sorry.
closed
I get
To
those.
keep, you know, the
So I'm
same.
working this.
If it's, I mean,
Yep.
if we
Yeah,
do this.
yeah, we need something there to.
And then that way,
besides the
yeah,
day
I
and just say
mean,
road.
oh yeah, it needs something more there.
North and
So,
south.
and just get their attention, and then they blow on through there or run it there.
Well, and that's gonna take care of it for you, and it's gonna take care of it.
If
You
I
go
put
for
up
the
a
east
sign, you
So,
know, private property,
Avenues run east and west,
Yeah.
streets run north and south.
enter at your own risk or something like that, or.
I just put private property, no trespassing myself. I mean, you don't want people doing that.
because kids used to go down there and party.
At the big long bridge before we closed that
Oh,
off,
yeah.
then they started using the twin bridges
Mhm.
to the south.
It's not designated on the plat for Ohio. You're calling this 25th?
There's a street
Yeah.
sign,
Okay.
just on that one section,
Okay.
just on section 7, that road stops after
That is the
that.
only place we have a 25th at all.
You got 15.
No, we actually have another one, it's
You
at
got
the sewer.
15. Oh, yep, the one going in the sewer, that new highway. Yeah, this would be northwest 25th. I'm surprised Turner didn't catch that. About this.
Oh, I never did, but,
I would
don't know
assume.
why.
yeah, I should have.
No,
Or no,
no, he's not listed on the front page.
He's not, Fisher,
Donald.
Rickson and Fisher.
yep.
Donald Fisher Trust.
it's probably because he's on the north side of that,
Well, yeah, it's not, yeah.
because it runs
Because it
through,
goes right
because it
through.
goes.
Yeah, if you look at it, he
Kinda
doesn't
splits
own
it.
anything along that road.
Yeah, but if we would have closed it from the
Oh.
pavement, it would landlocked him.
I know, yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So, that would.
I did talk to two of the, Ron Richardson and
Township. board.
Township Board, and they agreed to go ahead and drag the road. It's the only thing I can see other than the release of liability to the county by turning this back would be, usually they mow it once, sometimes twice,
Well, we can keep going, that's all.
you know, and that would be the only, you know, thing.
No longer than that, so that's not an
Or you're
issue.
talking less than an eighth of a mile.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as, other than the liability to the county and then having to mow, or not even having to mow it, I mean, they do, just go down and back on each side. I know they always do at least once a year sometimes. This year, my wife complained a little bit, and they got it mowed twice. And that's all the maintenance there is. Years ago, they come in and ground up the blacktop, put it right back down, and then put gravel on it. And what are you talking about? That's probably one of the best roads in Stafford County as far as gravel road.
Yeah, and traffic's, I mean, you know,
Yeah, no traffic.
it helps with no traffic.
So you had no objection from me? as far as-
So we just, the only thing we're changing is 20th
the 25th.
And then
Avenue.
we'll put some barricade things at the 404s.
Yeah.
Do that.
All the reflective tape to let them know.
Yeah, the road
So I had to read it all.
road closed, like that at least.
Just a
at least
motion,
for-
right?
Motion and second, and
I'll make a motion. And we approve this vacating road of Ohio Township in Stafford County.
I'll second that.
No, not as published.
Not as published.
Not as
You're
published.
vacating from 25th
Yeah,
Avenue.
with the, with the revision of changing the intersection of Northwest 20th Avenue to the intersection of Northwest 25th Avenue.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded that we vacate the road from the Northwest 25th Avenue to become the Northwest 20th Street
Intersection.
intersection. All in favor, say aye.
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 Will you have something else for him to sign?
yeah. Because I knew people would be appearing, I didn't pre-draft anything.
Did you
Take the
make
name
that
off.
correction?
What?
You'll make that correction?
So far.
Yeah, he'll have to make it
Propane
on
slow
the
Turn the phone
final.
You're just vacating a portion of the road, that's not a problem.
You've been busy this winter, though.
I'm busy
I guess we-
enough.
Carol, I guess we can recess now
Yeah.
with St. John Township wanting to vacate the road.
The county wants to.
County wanting to vacate the road in St. John Township, north-south road running along the section line between sections 2 and 3 in Township 23 south, range 13 west of the 6 p.m. in St. John Township in Stafford County, Kansas. There's been some opposition to this, Phil, as we all well know. My question would be for Joe, with the bridge involved and the landowner's liability, assume that if we do close this road is not a question.
If you're denying access to somebody's property, they have a claim for damages, monetary damages, so it could be fairly expensive. When Phil Nusser was talking, I guess we'll call it off record, he said he was worried about a tractor, trailer, heavy vehicle implement basically breaking the bridge, right?
Okay, I mean,
Would it be feasible, I'm just thinking aloud, would it be feasible to enact a county resolution where we limit the weight of vehicles on this
it
road?
is a 5-ton bridge, it is posted as a 5-ton bridge. That is,
Okay.
somebody, but the trouble of it is trying to, anytime you have a bridge damage, it's trying to find out who did it, because most of the time,
Yeah, well,
they're long gone.
yeah.
Even if they go through the thing, they get pulled off of there, and then they'll call and tell you, well, I don't know how it happened. I've seen that happen more than one time.
How much traffic does the bridge get?
They have, it's listed in the bridge inspection book as 180. That's one car per day. Now, some days probably more, some days probably not in.
Because, you know, in lieu of closing the road, I'm thinking of a big, sign, no vehicles over such and such weight, and you set up a deer camera somewhere. See what, if you see somebody going over, overly large vehicle.
I mean, right in the middle of the bridge, somebody had started a fire at one point. You could see, who knows why. More likely it was juveniles. And it's, all the wood, it's an all wood structure, except for the very north end, which is, it's been several years, we went in and put a steel back wall and drove steel piling, or shell piling, and then poured in full of cement. And set it up in the future, so if we had to do something, part of that was done. And part of it, we had trouble with the side back wall washing out, so we extended the bridge and did that. And so that, I mean, that was set up. So if we ever did have to do something in the future, we said it has probably 20 years ago now. I mean, it was probably the 80s or early 90s, I don't know.
I really don't.
So I don't either, so, and it's, they're really learning too much of it. I can go back and dig records up, but I mean, it's really not too big a deal one way or another. But actually to go in there and put a new bridge in, just for materials, and to finish it out with steel, would be, just for materials alone, would be about $41,000.
What do you think the equipment and labor of that would be? Twice that much?
Yeah,
At
probably.
least.
Because they're quite a bit of time, and stiffeners and whatnot. So, because it'd probably take another, it'd probably tear it out, put it in 15 working days.
So you're saying you could replace that bridge for less than 100,000? Because I'd be very, very skeptical.
Yeah. You know, can't. I mean, I can't change what you think, but I know what we can do.
Yeah,
And I know what
understand
materials
that
are.
up as
Huh?
kind of a bed or an estimate. I'd like to see some.
No, this is county doing this, not the contractor.
Yeah.
That's why I know what it would cost.
Guy can barely pave his driveway for 20 or 30,000 bucks. I doubt that you can put a bridge across there for 100 is what I'm getting now.
Well, I can't, I'm just telling, I mean, I figured if
And
I
I
material.
just wanted to register my skepticism.
That's fine, I mean, there's nothing, you're entitled to your opinion, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's $40,000 for the steel it would take, and probably about $40,000 for what it would take with our labor force to do it.
You're talking about a steel bridge with a steel deck,
Yes.
one of those bridges that just come out pre-made and you put it together.
Well, it's not pre-made.
Well,
But you've seen them put
Yeah,
together.
yeah, I have.
You've drove over them,
I know what
you've
they
seen
are.
them. I
That's
mean,
what I'm
they're a
asking.
totally functional bridge.
Right,
for
right.
anything
I know.
anybody does, yeah.
but does it
But-
actually have to be replaced?
No, it's functional.
We're saying in 40 or 50 years, when we do get a flood or high water again and it washes it out, or you do have a heavy truck come across and break it completely out. That's
Yeah.
what I'm just worst case scenario. I mean, if we decide to close it and the landowners have to replace it, money out of their own pocket, that's what I'm trying to, and I'm still hung up on the fact that I'm not comfortable, forcing the landowner to take the liability risk of that bridge. That's where I'm hung up at.
No, right now it's a 5-ton bridge. And
Right.
you can go as low as 3. And after it becomes a 3-ton bridge, you either have to close it or fix it.
Well, unfortunately, a 3-ton bridge won't carry most of our pickups anymore. That's only
Probably not a heavy tonner,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's only 6,000
I
pounds.
know.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying.
I mean, you could,
5 ton.
Even a
you
5-ton
can take a stock,
stretch it, haul it
a stock
down.
trailer over it.
Well, you're gonna have to get a big stock trailer.
Well, I understand that, because who wants to run, cattle out and
Yeah.
run them all the way down to the
Yeah, it's
bridge
gonna-
and try to load them out on the south side or, on the south
I
side
mean,
of
that
the
is
bridge?
right though, Joe, isn't it? I mean, if we.
No, I understand that.
But there's,
If we close the road and the bridge
There's nothing in it right
by
now.
the landowners,
In
that
the
liability
way
if somebody did cross
so
it.
we've got a cracked
Would-
structure or something, so we
If I
can't.
read this correctly,
There's nothing
Mr.
you should
Salem
do
here
there, right?
would be the
There
proud
is
owner of
some-
half a bridge, and Deanna Porter would be the other proud owner.
No, we're on the
No.
north side, bridge is on the south
Bridge is on the
side.
south
Okay,
side.
I'm looking at, there's 2 fingers.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about Mr. Jerry Long and his wife being the proud owners, along with Dorothy Bliss.
Problem is that bridge is the only access for 4 different landowners.
Yeah, that way coming in there is the only way to get in there.
Going north, you're talking.
You can't, the
You can't
road's
go
not
north.
suffice to come in.
You can't get in there from the north.
So the bridge is the end of the line.
Yeah,
It ends up at the half a mile line,
Huh?
right? Basically, the road ends at the half a mile line.
There's a slew north of.
There's some section lots and a couple piling in a
Can't
couple
come in
of
through
years,
the
but they're
middle.
not real bad yet.
All I know is
Okay.
it looked real rough when I
That was
really
my
bought it.
It's due for inspection again. So if it doesn't close up, they will inspect it.
Problem is that road hasn't been maintained by the
But my
township.
concern is,
I think some of the landowners that's there, I think that's probably an idea to keep people off of it. What I'm afraid of now is down to sell.
That's
That's
a long time
what
ago, I
I'm
must have
saying, if you
overlooked
keep
it.
up
I
that
didn't
road,
see the
then
problem.
the Southern County's gonna say.
no,
it's a
there's some cracks and some stringers, but they're all done
You
on
just-
stringers.
Okay, so
They did
somebody make a
double
motion.
on
Right.
sides.
Yeah.
I mean, we went in there several years ago and fixed it.
Yeah.
When the traffic issue
I mean,
came
That's
up,
what your motion is.
same traffic that's in process there was 50 years ago, 60 years ago, there's
Well, they put that,
no more.
And we give them more time to get
Yeah, it's,
figures
well,
together.
so in other words, we needed.
Somebody wants to close.
50 years ago. we
I understand what you
that.
have to do with it.
well, they put that bridge in, in the middle sixties.
1965.
All right, and they had, oil production up there. And when they brought the drilling rig in, they came across Alan Long's pasture to get in there. And then they got production, and that's when they put the bridge in. And the oil was pipelined out at that time, and that was just access for the oil companies to come in. And there was a well on your quarter, and they drilled 3 wells on Dad's quarter. And they abandoned them in 81, I think. Pulled a pipe and everything. And I didn't know what, Dad graded the road and everything, made the right of way, but what happens if you close that road? What does it take to reopen it? To, like if the oil companies, somebody leases the ground there and they need access into that, and that's the only way they can come in.
Typically, roads are open in one of 3 ways. They're either, donated as a gift by a landowner. Of course, the county or the township doesn't have to accept the gift. Or you can petition to have the county commissioners open a road. That's where you gather so many signatures, residents. of the
Yeah,
township.
but was it closed before they opened it? Because there was no bridge there, anything before. Was that road always open?
I have not looked at the road record.
Yeah, it was opened, written, and I don't think anybody ever did anything with it.
I don't think that road's ever been closed.
No, it's
Never
not,
has been closed?
but it's because it says all the way through there. It's supposedly, and I don't think the other part was ever opened up past the half a mile line.
No,
Supposedly it's supposed to be-
originally cross the slough down there then?
Yes, that's,
No. Well,
yeah, all the way.
only way we had access into our quarter of ground,
But I mean, it was
we-
supposed to be no road.
we'd come across
Petition.
Allen's from the east, or
Because originally they.
we used to come across
The viewers
your ground
did not to open.
in the
And the county
50s,
commissioners did open.
coming across there, we'd
I did
we
find that.
crossed the creek in there. There
Yeah.
was kind of a deal where you could drive down through it, but, that's on your ground. But that was,
That was back when he had
Right.
half a dozen cattle in the truck too.
right, but, but that was the only way we have access to, well, I'd say 3/4 of that quarter up there, because you get up in there, there's no way you can cross that slough.
Well, the way it looks
At
to
all.
me is that you lose access to most of your quarter. Jerry Long loses access to almost all of his.
Right.
I lose access to 2/3 of mine.
Right.
Sure, I'm not sure how it
South
affects
half
you,
of
at least.
Mm-hmm.
And
Without that road.
we've always required access to it, and nothing's really changed in that regard.
So that way makes the road closing, I'm gonna say prohibitively expensive. Contrasting with what Phil said, replacing the bridging cost. Because there's a great case out of, I forgot the name of the county seats council of roads, is that Morris?
Morris.
Morris, I always get Morris and Marion confused. And the county commissioners, there went ahead and closed some roads and got sued for $200,000. I think they finally ended up settling for 50, but that was after 3 years of appeals and whatnot.
So what, and I don't know this, that's why I'm asking, on a brush truck, say if there's a fire up there, what would a brush truck with a tank of water weigh?
It'd be a lot more than 10,000 pounds. Them trucks carry 1,600 gallon of water. The big trucks we got, dude.
You guys are saying that that bridge is only a 5-ton bridge. I mean, that bridge is solid, guys. I mean,
Legal limit is 5 tons.
right, but I mean, if there was a fire up there, I guarantee you, fire truck would go across it, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
it's-
water-
That's what I'm asking.
Right.
The water alone that that truck will carry will exceed the weight of the bridge.
Right.
As long as
Some
it's
kind of
committed, it
weight
ain't
truck.
an issue.
Right, right.
I mean, if you put one of them 6 plus, it could be, And typically, they're rated well below what they'll hold. I mean, that's-
The other thing is that they're spread far enough, and that's a short-cut bridge. You're not gonna have, the weight's gonna be on the edges instead of in the middle. You're not gonna have the weight concentrated in a 2-foot area right in the center of it, so.
Any other comments? Well, I think due to the turnout, and there's a lot of unanswered questions, I think the landowners should get together and determine, what's the best route of going. But at the present time, I'm gonna make a motion that we not close the road, north-south running through section line between sections 2 and 3 in Township 23, south and range 13 west of the 6th principal meridian in St. John Township in Stafford County, Kansas.
I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded we not close the road.
It's,
North and south road running along the section line between sections 2 and 3, Township 23 south, range 13 west, and 6 p.m. in St. John Township in Stafford County, Kansas. All in favor? Say aye.
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 You still make him repeat this motion?
Huh? I did that the other day, it cleared at night. So I thought I'd just read it back.
How can you remember that?
I did.
How can you remember?
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch.
That's where I parked all the time.
Agriculture now, everybody and their brother.
What were you, 6 years old?
Well, I remember going up there with Dad when,
Harvester trucks.
Deanna, we'd go up there, well, I don't know what.
They must have stopped making,
We,
we don't see it.
Dad still had a team of horses and they'd go up there in the late 50s, go across that creek to get, when we still putting hay up loose, and load it and everything.
Carol, we'll recess.
You remember stuff like that.
Save it up for me, then.
Are we going to executive session?
No, I don't think we need to, do we?
We're in, so what's up?
You just got burns.
Yeah.
We just got a little, because of the high winds, I stopped burns last week. We discussed it, and I told dispatch not about burns road.
We had a couple calls Monday,
Yesterday.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
so. And I said no, but
I
just as
just
a
wanted
brush
to-
pile. Just for plain and simple fact of what's happening outside right now. 50-mile-an-hour winds.
I think most of his is grass.
It's
And
grass.
like he said that, he said, we were deferred to 1 year,
Mhm.
and they're approaching a deadline of the 15th of April
Now
now.
it's chasing 50.
And they
That's not the
have
first
to
one.
get done. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
can see his point, because it was a pretty nice day, and there's other fires in pretty close by our county yesterday. And
There's some counties,
but I see your point too.
Yeah.
You don't
Barton
want to,
County,
Yeah,
Barton
County
is in a burn ban.
and I don't know nothing about
But other
big
counties
fires
are
other than
burning.
No, Reno and Sedgwick yesterday.
Yeah, Reno
Edwards.
County ran pretty hot and heavy yesterday. with fires.
And they were controlled burn.
And they were all controlled burns that got away. I mean, grass, I understand they have to burn and everything else, but we're going back to the on-site inspections. that we're gonna have to do, make sure that
And
we're following
there's
the
certain
guidelines.
ones that we really need to pay attention to. I mean, ones that we know that we've
Yeah.
had problem areas in the past. that we
I,
need to get
I,
into.
I agree with you, but I don't know if you two have time to do that, do you?
Well, with Davin
I mean, or
too,
who
and
else,
stuff, I mean,
or whoever's
we're talking,
gonna
it's gonna be like
do
3 or 4 of us
inspections.
gonna have to run around and try, you know, if we find the time to do it. We had to do it before with Steve and stuff, when we were out on patrol and said, okay, can you check this spot? And as long as we were in the middle of the call, we would check it and things like that. But like I say, grass, I really don't have much problem as long as they do the 50-foot.
Burn or work house.
Yeah, just mow line,
Disc
this line, whatever they're gonna do.
Well, it's a 50-foot disc line and it's a 30-foot mow line. I don't like the mow lines because the fires go across them.
It's just as easy to do.
You got a
it.
disc.
Yeah, disc
got
is the
the
only
disc
one
to
that
take care of
really,
it.
and then have a disc on, but kind of like the procedures we had before, but we're, don't really want to shut anybody down because we get griped at, you guys get griped at.
Yeah.
And we understand that, you know, there are people who've got to meet that deadline, because we've got some people that are contacting us that are wanting us to come help them, or because they're in some bad spots.
But the idea, we'd like to, you know, possibly say brush piles, no.
Yeah.
Because brush piles, you know,
Don't burn out.
they'll, for a week, and then they'll, you know, we get a windy day, and then they flare up, and next thing you know, we got another fire again. And we had several of them to the north that in the past couple, you know, 3 weeks ago or so, but it was with brush piles that it flared up because of the wind.
But most of the guys that have burnt their brush piles have said, hey, you know, I know I burnt this, and but last, well, the night of the fire in Stafford, my station with their brush pile, the guy had set on fire. He said, well, I dumped a bunch of water on it. I'm just a little worried about it flaring up. Well, I would be too, 50-mile-an-hour wind, and then turn around and we go to Stafford for structure fire. I don't want to see all of our guys get run down where we're not going to get anybody to respond to these big fires that we tend to have.
So are you wanting to do a burn ban, or you want to do a case by case?
I think we're going to do a case by case, or we just say absolutely no brush piles.
Well, isn't it true the state fire marshal sets down the rule if the wind is greater than 15 miles an hour?
We have those guidelines.
Yes.
And I would think with CRP or something, it needs to be burned, and if they do the disc.
I would say if the wind is in parameters and they've got their disc line, then have fun, call us if you need us. But my problem is
We've
doing
had in
brush
the past,
piles.
though, they says, oh, we've got it done, and then they, you know, they have a 20-foot disc line instead of a 50-foot, and we've been called their fires before.
And then we get out there, that's not a 50-foot disc line, that's like a.
Unless if it's not 50-foot, we'll say, no, you can't burn, you need to disc it more. And I know they're wanting to cut corners like anybody else can if they can save themselves a little money, but in the long run, we're gonna get paged out to a fire.
Yeah.
And who knows?
If we
And
can-
with the winds, and I'm sorry, every station's got people, if they say shelter belt, got on fire, they don't respond to it.
No.
Yeah.
Because that's the most dirtiest, time-consuming job there is. Everybody hates a shelter belt. I hate them. Because you just work yourself to death trying to fight them.
And then you still take the risk, you know, it could be good out in cold, well, wind comes up next day and you're right back down there again and spread. I would say that if we keep our guidelines of having a 50-foot disc line,
And
and
the mow line, which
Mow
are
line.
all part of the state parameter on that. And the water amount they gotta have.
but I'm to the point to say absolutely no brush piles till we get some moisture.
So there's a 50-foot disc line and a mow line?
No,
It's
either or. And I don't like the 30-foot mow lines, the fires.
Well, the mower leaves debris.
Behind it goes right, it travels right across it, but that's one they put in the guidelines. I like the idea of having a tractor and a disc on site, because a tractor can slow down a fire so fast.
Don't take much to do it. And we're looking at the wear and tear on our equipment, personnel. You know, 2 summers ago, what we ran 32 fires in 31 days. And
Multi-station fires,
And these are, you know, we were over Reno County, Rice County, and over Water, and
probably $5,000
What
tires.
is your policies on the monetary compensation for if they do have to call you out? Because I know we've talked about this with Steve, and I know he said he had policies. in place.
with the if they call us out to do a standby fee,
It's $150.
no, it's $200.
It's $200.
It's $200 for the first 2 hours, and that's 1 truck and 2 personnel. And anything after that is $100.
But I'm saying if they say they had their 50-foot disc line and and the winds were right when they started, and the winds switched or come up later, you know.
You know, if it's an act of nature thing, I mean,
And
obviously,
there's
there's
been
nothing we
nothing
can do
on
about
that
it.
part of it, I mean, it's just,
But if it's neglected.
If it's neglect, then we'll assess it the way it needs to be done, so.
of course, then,
But that's why I'm asking, so
Yeah.
when we get called in question,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, it's a
have an
case by
answer.
case, if we find that they're in neglect, then.
and I believe, I think all the owners.
Or in
the land-
violation.
Yeah, or in
Yeah,
violation.
And all the landowners at one time or another have received these papers on
Right.
what their guidelines are, they have to follow those. And I know they were all sent out, not last year, but the year before, we really had a problem with it.
You know, we've still got, you know, people coming in just, hey, I want to burn, well, I don't have a burn permit, we'll come on in, let's get one filled out, we'll fax one to you, whatever.
I
They've
mean,
been really, really
I
good
can
about
see
it.
the guy that did this yesterday, I can see his point, you know, he has a crew hired,
Yeah,
and he pays his crew to assemble, because it's gonna be, you know, a pretty nice day, then all of a sudden he won't let it burn.
yeah.
Now, that gets pretty expensive pretty quick.
It
I mean,
does.
I can see his frustration, but I can also see
He
the
also
other
admitted
side
he
of the
should have
table
checked.
too.
Yeah, he admitted he should have checked
Yeah.
prior to just
Right.
go ahead and make it.
But I would rather get something figured out.
That's
Yeah.
what we told
for
him to try to
future
get done
reference,
today,
so we
that's what
don't
we were
have
doing.
Yeah,
Have a
I've got
Had that
a,
problem.
I've got a crew up there that wants to run off Stafford down the road, and it's 2 sections, and it's nothing but grass. And he's out of Reno County, and he's came down and he visited with Mike Haddon and I and myself, we went down and looked at it and everything, and Mike even went, it's on a township road that is not maintained, so minimum maintenance road. Mike said, he said, here's what I will do, he said, I will go down and bring a grader, and he said, I'll make you a good dirt line through here, and he said, as long as, he said, yeah, I said, I'm bringing my disc, my everything, I'm gonna do everything the right way, so. You know, and a lot of these guys are calling us, hey, we got grass to burn, and, you know, we want your input.
Are they supposed to call before they leave?
Yes, they're supposed to call in before they light it. And we do get the occasional one, we just light it and call it.
Of course,
Oh, hey,
then,
my burn.
then we get the call, hey, we're lighting a fire, there's no fire, 4 hours later, they light the fire, then the wind has already increased, and then we run into that problem. If you're gonna call it lighted, you need to light it then. And
Light it within that 30 minutes.
We've had it both ways,
Yeah.
because they're not supposed to go past dark.
Without one of us approval.
When they say they got a 3-hour burn, and you're starting at 1 o'clock, and then it's still, they don't light till 4 or 5.
Well, then 10 or 11 o'clock, all right.
So,
But
we're just basically wanting your approval though, I mean, we'll okay the burns, but we'd like to say no brush piles for right now.
Hey,
until
it's
more
fine
rain.
by me.
yeah. Darrell Marshall contacted me yesterday, there's like 4 or 5 guys up there just right along to it, want to burn, and a lot of them are spots that are gonna need our assistance just to come out and babysit. I think there's a couple other Rob's district in the same way, so. We're gonna have our work cut out for us, but we wanna do it the right way, and, but if we don't have to go fight a brush fire, we don't wanna have to go fight a brush fire either, so.
Because the brush fire, we will come up. and-
Yeah, I can understand the brush piles, I mean, they can wait.
Yeah.
That's what we,
Grass.
our thing.
We get a half inch of rain on the ground, go ahead, I don't care, burn your brush fire, get it all done in one day.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I got a couple I need to burn too, but I'm just sitting
Why
there
were the
waiting.
brush piles burned when we had snow? If they've been up that long, that's the ideal time to do them,
Yeah.
but we're just gonna say no brush piles and make it for a while.
Yeah, okay, go from there.
Very good.
I think it was 2 years ago, I called in, I said it's gonna burn, she said, well, the wind's gonna be picking up later on. The time I walked out there, which is no more than 10 minutes, I had called back and I said, forget it, wind had already picked up that quick.
I've got one clear down at the bottom of a pond, and, you know, even a day like today, where it's surrounded by trees, I could probably burn it and be no problem. But I don't want that skipping out to the pasture, because I don't have to have grandma to worry about and all that, I just don't need that.
Especially nowadays, all going to the
Yeah. At times.
And there's more trees, and that's a short road.
So, we don't need a resolution on.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
regarding
We were-
I think we're good, I think we can handle it just case by case, we'll just say
Brush
brush
piles.
piles for now.
Unless ideal conditions, or until we get significant moisture in grass, go ahead and get it done with, that they need to burn. Because they got kind of deadlines, and we understand that, but that's all we're trying to do, is make it safe, and so they can get their work done too.
Very good.
I think everything else is going okay.
You had mentioned something about the impoundment. Or
We-
needed to be
The
cleaned
Sanford and Son
out.
auction.
We need to get a cell commenced on that, yeah.
Really quick, because we're.
So does Joe have to do anything, or does?
No, I don't believe so, really. It's normally, it's the sheriff.
Some years ago, I drew up, fill in the blank forms for Jeff and gave it to Jeff, and they did have a sale.
We've had one cell, 20, no, we've had two different cells, I believe,
Because
about 20 vehicles.
The law hasn't
All-
changed, just copy what you did before.
And he had, we went through and gave all the information, piece of description of the vehicles and everything else that you have to send certified letters off to, and
Yeah.
publish it and everything else, but
There are 45 vehicles, and that's.
46
46
with the derrick.
With the derrick car. And derrick car, obviously, we're gonna do a sealed bid on that, because all that comes back to the derrick fund, because that was a.
it's something we'll have to
donation
set up
the
with Bill, because we'll, normally for sales, we move everything out. It's gonna be kind of,
That will empty our impound lot, all but about 3 vehicles that we got in there. Everyone's stashed on the south side of the salt shed, because we didn't have over.
and there's a few that, they have to be there over 6 months before we, I think is our guideline, before we can do anything with them. Of course, we have a few that we would rather not haul out, just someone to scrap the area of people fatalities that Fisher Boyd did, and some of those vehicles. And we still have those all the way from back then. Really would not like to bring things like that out in the public eye for their,
We all three agree that it
their
needs to
scrap iron
go,
was all they
so.
are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're totally destroyed scrap iron, that's all they're willing
Yeah.
to scrap.
So, okay. Very good.
Hopefully it warms up stable and we'll get that taken care of.
And has anyone said about the closed circuit? Do you have any idea how that?
Oh, we
how-
approved it last
He's ordered the
meeting.
stuff.
Well, I mean, I thought you approved it months ago.
Well,
No,
we did.
it was never
I did
approved.
too, but I
Oh, it was never.
never approved,
Oh, I
somebody
thought it was.
says.
Okay.
We didn't approve it. We did
Because
last week
we're,
though.
we're down to using,
You wanna look back through the
we're
bill?
down to using 2 jails, and we've got 1 jail we won't take any more on, we're full. And that jail, Barton County's full. They got about 4. Pratt
And we
County,
got rid of.
we had to move all those out of Pratt
I
County
still
to
think there's a way to
Greensburg.
do that.
Well,
Rest him at
April-
Maxville.
April 11, I'm
I
gonna
do.
be in Pottawatomie County to look at their new jail
He wants to
with the
sell it to us.
undersheriff,
Oh, I'm
Mr.
sure.
Yeager.
Yeah.
And I gotta get a hold of the fine folks in Marion County, because they have a new jail, and see what,
I
it's
still
like.
think
and
that's our
figure-
best.
I think if you
Figure
build
out-
it, they will come.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
we're
think
running 16 to
yesterday-
20.
For that
17
facility over
yesterday.
there, as close as it is,
20?
put the video
17.
camera in there and lock them up.
And that's, we normally run about 20.
Yeah.
And we got several out this week, 2 or 3 out, we got out this week.
Which will have some more.
But we have more going back in now.
They never.
You almost
Repeat
have,
business.
They never.
so on warrants, we almost have to be kind of particular when we go out warrants, if we have places available to put them.
And we start
I mean,
calling
it's
jails
terrible.
ahead of time, hey, you got room, we're gonna bring some.
Nope,
Okay.
nope,
And you
nope.
don't have, veto power over like the highway patrol, we don't
No.
wanna drag people.
Yeah.
So,
The good thing is, if we really need to get somebody thrown in the door, we can usually squeeze one in up north.
but Kyle County, I haven't seen, I've never seen as full as they are right now. Because we doubled our numbers down there. I took another one down, 2 down there yesterday again.
So I'm still a firm believer, if you build it, they will come. So,
Well, I can get you a better rate now in Rice County than was previously available, because they got a new sheriff.
yeah, Sheriff, go for it. Cody's a real good guy to work with. Went to college with Cody.
That's,
And
Because he started out as a Lions PD, didn't he?
Nope, he started out as sheriff's officer, he went to the academy in 2000.
But he would, but then did he go to Lions?
He's always been sheriff's officer.
he's gonna be.
He was,
2015.
started out as patrolman, and then went to sergeant, and detective, and undersheriff, and now sheriff. All the undersheriff and sheriff in a matter of 1.5 years, so wow.
Climb the ladder.
Well, sheriff knows bad things up there. I never would have thought that guy.
We'll get out here on it.
Okay.
Have a good day.
I just,
I'll-
okay. Is it gonna be the Robin Todd show, because I think that's way, if that's reflected in the minutes, I'm gonna say it.
You want me to?
No.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, they got John Boyd.
It's just Robin
See you guys.
See ya.
The Rice County jail is way too big for our purposes, you know. What you want to do is come up with a Plan A, a Plan B, and a Plan C for a jail. Plan A being Stafford County only, Plan B being Stafford County and one other county, Plan C being Stafford County and two other counties, because you have two counties to the west here who are desperately in need of new jails. Again, it's always fun, you know, when you have multiple government entities trying to go together, but the prison system is way crowded. They're like 105% capacity. This is men. Women, there's under capacity. But what's happening is, you know, you'll sentence somebody to, you know, to the DOC custody, but they'll still be in your jail 6 weeks later because DOC doesn't have room for them. So it's every county is maxing out its jails.
Anything else, Clay?
Yes, the question, this is for Joe. Last week, you know, they're redoing the boiler and the piping and all that. And Zach, is that his name? He said, what do you want done with the salvage? He just says, I don't want, you know, and there'll be copper pipe and there's 2 or 3 motors and cast and I don't know what else. And can we, what do we do with it since it's...
I think we have allowed ourselves through a resolution flexibility to in disposing of this. You know, years ago, we always had to run newspaper ads, which is sort of pricey, you know, if you stop and think about it. I'm thinking we could, you know, just invite sealed bids for the stuff, you know, put it on our website. We have a county website, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, but how much stuff is there gonna be?
Well, I would say that, well, that one motor probably weighs 500 pounds.
Yeah.
And then...
When you look at all this stuff, and they're cutting all that pipe.
He's not taking the motor.
He's not taking it. What he said, he said, I'm not disposing, you have to dispose of the salvage.
How do we get that out?
And well, they'd have to take it out the back door.
Plan B would be to directly contact some outfit like Acme Scrap
That's
Metal,
what I was gonna say.
and, you know, hey, you know, you guys want to come look at this and make us an offer?
Or can,
Phillips guys haul it off.
can we haul it
I mean-
to Acme and put the money in general fund or
Well,
whatever?
Sure.
That's what I would
That's
tell.
what I want
I
to
just
know.
tell Philip, you know, and if he thinks that electric motor's something we can sell, because there's a pump attached with it too.
There's a
We just
pump,
put
there's
that
gonna
in-
be copper pipe, 4-inch stuff.
Because they occasionally haul stuff from down the shop. up
I'd
there.
just tell him to crush it and haul it.
Because when he picked up this little,
Well, I guarantee you, if you leave it sit down, somebody will steal it.
Yeah.
well, you know, he picked out of the box this 4-inch T, and he said this is $450 copper.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Oh, I think there'll be some, you know, dollar value there. That's pretty good value.
We need to tell him that, you know, to put it off to the side, or I'm certain he will. And then we just have the county haul it to where?
Great band.
Yeah, I know they take stuff there.
So that's, and that's what I had this question. Do we need to do sealed bids? Do we need?
I mean,
Not if we
there's-
keep the money.
All right, you can take that off. Strike right here. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything.
Like I said, it makes more sense for us to take it to the scrapyard, because if we park it out there, somebody will come steal it. I'm amazed at how some of these people work so, you know, these the type of people who've never had a job in their life, they've always been criminals, yet sometimes they have to work real hard to load this stuff.
They do.
I guess nothing else will adjourn.